On Larry King Now, comedian Tom Segura. What material was your first material you used? Do you remember?
I think I did a bit about that my penis points to the left.
That was your opening bit?
I think so, yeah.
Does your penis point to the left?
It does. First day you meet, I made him on set. I don't know, it's kind of funny when somebody's that famous and they introduce themselves to you. He's just like, hey, I'm Mark. And I was like, yeah, no shit, you know, like that's what you want to say. If we had the Easy Baby first and then this psycho came along, like it would be really.
3-year-old is psycho.
He's a maniac, yeah. He loves trash cans. He's like, let's go find trash cans. I'm like, all right.
Plus, most starstruck you've ever been.
You know, it's always with rappers.
Really?
Yeah. One time I walked up to Pharoah Monch at an ATM machine, and I was like, hey man, he was like, excuse me. I was like, I'm a big fan. He's like, do you mind?
So all next on Larry King Now. Welcome to Larry King Now. Our special guest is Tom Segura, the actor, comedian, podcast host. Tom has 3 hit Netflix stand-up specials to his name, including his most recent, Disgraceful. He's currently headlining the Take It Down comedy tour. He co-hosts the podcast Your Mom's House with his wife, Christina Pazitsky. And now Tom is taking his talents to the big screen, starring alongside Mark Wahlberg and Rose Byrne in Instant Family. That'll be out in theaters November 16th. All right, you share the screen with Mark Wahlberg.
Yeah, you got it.
I got it.
Yeah.
Know him a long time. What was that like?
It was great. I mean, you know, when you feel like you're you're going to be cast alongside a star, like a superstar, you know, it's kind of intimidating, right? And then first day you meet, I made him on set. I don't know, it's kind of funny when somebody's that famous and they introduce themselves to you. He's just like, hey, I'm Mark. And I was like, yeah, no shit, you know, like that's what you want to say. But then I was like, what was that? And he's like, Mark. And I go, oh, yeah, I'm Tom. But, you know, but then he's trying, I mean, you don't have the idea of, like, how famous that person is and what it must be like, you know? Like, I get recognized by, like, a TSA guy on his 3rd shift, and he's like, I like your stuff, man. And you're like, cool. And then with him, like, people are, like, coming out of their houses, waiting around a park that we're shooting on. It's just such a great, we shot in Atlanta. So it was, you know, people would find out where we're shooting, and they would wait in that area just to get a glimpse of him.
First movie for you?
It was, yeah. It was the
How'd
first.
you get it?
It was, you know, it's funny. I turned down the audition because the way that these usually come about, you know, TV, film stuff, you'll get an email from an agent. Your agency will say like, hey, pending your interest, you have an audition Thursday at 11 for this thing. And if I have like a really busy week, you know, I'll see that and be like, all right, and I'll have 10 other things. And then by Wednesday, they'll say, hey, just confirming that you'll be there tomorrow. And I just wrote back like, no, no thanks. And so then my agent called me and he's like, hey man, the director requested you to do this. Like, it's not that common. Do you think you could find time for it? And I was like, I don't think so. So he's like, there's no way. And I go, well, maybe next week, if he'll do it next week. So then they moved it to the following week. I auditioned, and he was like, I left there, and I called my agent. I was like, I killed it, so just give him a call. And then he called me back. He's like, he said you did all right. So I go, so now what? Well, he's like, he wants to see you at his house. And I was like, uh-oh, I don't know if we're gonna.
Was this a big part?
I mean, it's a sizable part. I mean, you know, it's Mark Wahlberg, Rose Byrne, and I'm playing his brother-in-law, right? So I'm married to, in the movie, the actress Alan Rachel is Rose's sister. And
You're in a lot of scenes?
Yeah, yeah.
All right, how'd you like doing a movie?
It was a lot of fun. I mean, I'm so used to live shows that's the big adjustment.
Sitting around is the big.
Sitting around, and also, I don't know what like I always imagined that once you would when you book a movie and you're shooting, that like you'll be spending a lot of time getting it right, and basically we would show up, you know, the whole crew, the cast and crew is there. You'd run the scene, and they're like, on to the next one. I'm like, are we not going to practice that more? And they were like, no, that was it. And I was like, I probably should practice more on my own because that felt terrible. So
Do you have a lot of scenes with Mark?
yeah, I probably had, I don't know, half a dozen with him.
Have a lot of comedy lines.
Yeah, I mean, I play the kind of the jerk brother-in-law. So I just got to
Right up
say-
your alley.
It was perfect for me, yeah.
Here's a clip from Instant Family.
If this place is so great, why don't you guys move in here?
What are they gonna do with 5 bedrooms in a park? They're obviously never having kids. Look at them. Don't have any emotional holes to fill.
Shut up, Russ.
All right.
What was that look? What look? He just said you guys were never gonna have kids, and then you did a definite look.
Yeah, there was a look. What was the look for? Because you looked back at me to try to include me in your look.
I didn't do a look. Totally did a look. It wasn't a look.
I think we just started some trouble.
No, there's no trouble.
Maybe even a fight.
There's no fight. There's no trouble.
Let's get out of here. Come on.
All right, how do you like acting? How do you want to do more movies?
I do. I got to do a couple other small indies after this movie, so that was fun. I got to be a cop and beat up an Asian guy on the street and get a blowjob in a trailer park. That was fun. And then I got to get stabbed in the neck in another one.
You're on your way.
I'm on my way, man.
Where did you grow up?
I moved around a lot. I was born in Cincinnati. I lived there for a little while. We lived in Minneapolis, Milwaukee, and then I went to high school in Vero Beach. So
Was your father on the run?
it sort of felt like it. He was, yeah, but it was just finances, though. No, I mean, he worked for a company, and they were always
Were
promoting
you a
him.
funny kid?
I mean,
Class clown?
I don't think I was a class clown. I think I would just kind of lay back and say smart-ass stuff, like at a moment, and I got a lot of detention for.
Where'd you do
comments.
your first stand-up?
It was a place called the Good Bar on Sunset.
Here?
Here, I was so dumb that I invited people to it, and they go, "I didn't know you did stand-up," and I was like, "Yeah." Instead of saying like, "This is my first time ever," I was like, "Yeah, I do stand-up." And then they showed up and just watched me be awful, and I was like, "Yeah, this was my first time," and they're like, "Why wouldn't you say that before?"
Well, your first time is awful, and they're not laughing.
Yeah.
What gets you to come back for the second time?
It wasn't awful enough. I didn't like bomb. I didn't know what I was doing, but I was able to get enough laughs enough moments that you go like, oh, I can make that better, or I want to feel that again.
I'd have been a stand-up if I didn't do this.
Yeah?
I love it. I've done tours. When I do conventions and stuff, there's nothing.
Yeah, there's nothing like the live show.
Nothing like making people laugh on a stage. You do stories, right?
I do. I tell a lot of stories, yeah.
Ever do a story you regret telling?
There's stuff about like family sometimes where you're like I called my mom and I told her for my current hour, I was like, don't die until I shoot this. Just because if you die, then all the stuff will be weird. I told her it's really mean because I like
Boy.
because you
Don't
know.
die, because I'm referring to you.
I talk about you, and I told her I exaggerate things. I mean, comedy's all about exaggeration. So I go and I make things up, but she goes, well, which is it? Are you making things up or are you exaggerating? And I go, a little of both. But I basically, we used to butt heads a lot. So I exaggerate those things. And then I just told her, if you die in the next year, then I'll look like a bigger jerk talking about my dead mother being a dick. So just stay alive.
You call it disgraceful?
I called the last special disgraceful. Yeah. So this one
Is what?
Well, the tour is just called Take It Down Tour, but I don't know what I'll end up calling the special that I shoot, but I'll probably shoot it next fall.
Why do you call it Take It Down?
I don't know. I just feel like, take it down, take the idea down, take down your excitement level, take your tweet down.
After the break, Tom Segura on fame, fatherhood, and football. Instant Family is in theaters November 16th. Stay with us on this edition of Larry King Now. We're back with Tom Segura. Instant Family stars Mark Wahlberg will be in theaters November 6th, featuring Tom Segura. This has been a big year for you.
Yeah.
Netflix, movies.
Yeah, it's been.
How has fame affected you?
I don't know. I'm luckily not that. You know what? I'm the level of famous where you start to appreciate your privacy and you realize how much harder it must be for really famous people, like yourself. Like, I realize that, like, I've had, someone stare at me at a restaurant.
I have no privacy in restaurants.
Yeah,
I've been
of course.
61 years.
On TV, and I mean, like, everyone knows you. So I have enough to realize that, like, man, it must be awful if I was way more famous, but I can go anywhere.
How did the podcast start with your wife?
It was when podcasting was starting to get big amongst comedians, probably 8 or 9 years ago, something like that. And I was encouraged. Joe Rogan, who has a very famous big podcast, was like, "Isn't your wife a comic? Why don't you do one together?" And I told her, and she was sort of reluctant, and was like,
"She's a comic."
She's a comic too. She has 2 specials now on Netflix as well.
You have children?
We have 2 kids. We have 2 boys.
So what do you do on the podcast?
It's very juvenile. Really juvenile. There is a lot of filthy stuff. We play viral clips, like things like, any like people yelling at each other on the streets, guys encouraging people to take drugs, to have sex with strangers, just anything outrageous we love to play. But we also have comic guests on. We do interviews, and but it's supposed to be like going back to 7th grade. That's what we say.
How did you meet her, your wife?
I met her doing stand-up. I met her at a place called the Cat Club on Sunset.
You keep going back to Sunset.
I know, that's where it started, man. What do you mean to do? Make up a place? It was on Sunset.
What is your house like with 2 kids and 2 comics as parents?
Well, the oldest is almost 3. He's kind of a maniac. And,
Not surprising.
Yeah, no, he's breaking stuff. I mean, I don't know why I spent money on anything of value for furniture, because it's all destroyed. And then the baby is like, we're really lucky. He's a really chill baby, really happy. I feel like it's kind of blows your mind when you have 1 kid, because you just expect that if you'd have another kid, you can't wrap your head around that it won't be a duplicate. You keep going like, it'll be another one of this. Man, we were like, thank God it was in this order. Because if we had the easy baby first, and then this psycho came along, like, it would be really...
The 3-year-old is psycho.
He's a maniac, yeah. He loves trash cans. He's like, let's go find trash cans. I'm like, all right. And then he just throws things into trash cans, knocks trash cans over. I'm like, dude, if you keep doing this, I'm going to find you a new house. I don't want anything to do with it.
What did you name him?
My oldest boy is Ellis.
Ellis,
and the youngest boy is Julian.
Nice, and the young boy is sweet.
He's a little baby, but he's very sweet, yeah.
You get a little political in your act?
No, I stay away from it. I just feel like, not only is it, we're in this really polarizing time, but I just feel like it's fine to recognize that other people do a certain thing really well and better than you. So, I've had moments of a joke about this, the Trump joke,
You're not Bill Maher, though.
I'm not, and I feel like there's so many people in that lane right now. Just let them do it. They do it well. They do it really well, Samantha Bee and Trevor Noah and Maher. All those guys, they have like super political acts, and they're really good. Michelle Wolf has great jokes.
Yeah. Your vein is what? I
do, mundane, daily observations, silly things that happen to me, stories. I talk about things that I've experienced. I try to keep it like as much as like my
In
story.
the vein, we're going to have another guest coming, Sebastian.
Oh, he's fantastic. He does a lot of family stuff. I'm definitely dirtier than him.
He's not dirty at all.
No, Sebastian, like, whole families can go see their act. You can bring your family to see my act too, but people are going to leave. So,
when we return, Tom Segura, we'll put him on the hot spot in our little segment called If You Only Knew. You don't want to miss this. His new film is out November 16th, Instant Family. We'll be right back. It's November 16th. The movie is Instant Family. The guest is Tom Segura. You're a big college football fan, right?
That's true.
What happened to Ohio State, Purdue?
Man, I even tweeted out, this is why I do not bet on sports. You would have been...
You're a Buckeye fan, right?
Well, I'm actually a big Seminole fan, but I follow all the top 25 stuff all year round. It's like you would have been...
Ohio State?
By the look of that game, it just seemed like, honestly, that those Purdue kids wanted it more. They smashed them. They were so much more intense. And the Buckeyes looked flat, and they didn't just get beat. They got housed.
It was a Big Ten game.
Yeah, it was really surprising. I would have, if you had asked me before that game, I'd have been like, yeah, Ohio State might beat them 55-3, and it just.
They were big favorites.
Yeah.
You're an LA guy, but you stay with Florida State?
That's true, yeah. I mean, I was that kid, and, Deion, and those teams were just, and I don't know, I embraced them, man. Yeah, he's fantastic.
Anybody going to beat Alabama?
No.
No one's going to beat the Rams either, I don't think.
That could be cool to see if the Rams
go unbeaten.
I don't know if they I think the way that they play the game now in the NFL and like there's the strategizing of being healthy going into the playoffs will come into play there, and I think they might rest some starters late in the season.
They got to play Kansas City too.
Yeah, that would be a great game. But I think Bama could beat the Giants. Like they are crazy talented.
Okay, we play a little round of If You Only Knew. We just throw questions at you.
Okay.
What's the funniest or strangest fan encounter?
Oh, strange. There's a lot of strange ones. I mean, there's people that have asked me to mail them fecal matter.
Really?
Yeah. I don't know. It's probably my fault, but.
Proudest accomplishment?
I don't know. I mean, I have 2 great kids. That's a good accomplishment. But
That's
I mean,
the proudest. Your
that
fatherhood.
Yeah, I mean, what's better than that?
What's a food you can't stand?
I don't really like oysters.
I hate eggs.
You hate eggs?
I hate them.
Get out of here, man.
I hate them.
Anyway? Poached, fried?
Can't stand them.
Really?
What's something that scares you?
Rats.
Rats.
Yeah. I'm terrified of rats.
They're perfectly named.
Yeah, they are. I would love. I have fantasies about we put some type of food like scent, and all the rats kind of go into one area, and then we just flamethrow all of them, and just kill all rats.
They're kind of ratty. Who was your childhood celebrity crush?
Probably the first one was probably Alyssa Milano.
She was just here.
She was just here. Can you get her back?
Best piece of advice you ever got?
Sometimes you need to wipe down.
Good thought.
Yeah.
Someone from history you would like to take to lunch?
Jackie Robinson.
I interviewed him twice. I was at his first game.
You were at that game?
I was 14, 1947.
Jesus, man.
I'm old.
Hey, is this true? I don't know if this is true. Did you used to smoke 6 packs a day?
5, 3.
5?
3 or 4. I got a heart attack and stopped.
Wait, so how did you get through, like, did you wake up and you're just like...
I smoked 3 packs. The worst was Edward R. Murrow. Edward R. Murrow, who died of lung cancer, lit 1 cigarette a day. And everyone lit the next one.
What?
It's a bad habit.
Yeah, it is. But you were able to quit, which is amazing.
Most starstruck you've ever been?
It's always with rappers.
Really?
Yeah. Like, it's probably a few rappers. I mean, like, one time it was Method Man at the airport in Fort Lauderdale. One time I walked up to Pharoah Monch at an ATM machine, and I was like, hey, man. He was like, excuse me. I was like, I'm a big fan. He's like, do you mind? And I was like, can we talk? And I went up to Common at a clothing store, and I've always been, like, flabbergasted, because I listen to so much.
And they're bigger
hip-hop.
than Mark Wahlberg to you?
Oh, yeah, with actors and stuff, I'm just like, but with rappers, I definitely flip out.
What's an animal you wish you could talk to?
Maybe a cheetah.
Take you for a run?
Yeah, I would just be like, dude, what's
Where
it like?
would we find you on a day off?
Maybe at the spa. I like chilling hard.
Someone you wish you could switch places with for a day?
I don't know. I mean, wouldn't you love to be able to dunk? Just anyone that can dunk? Yeah, even like a guy at Venice Beach. I'm like, can you dunk? Do you want to switch places today?
Guilty pleasure?
Chocolate souffle.
Soccer souffle?
Chocolate souffle.
Oh, chocolate souffle.
Yeah, isn't that the best?
Yeah, it takes a while to make.
It does. And I actually took a French cooking class, and I learned how to make it, and I gained about 22 pounds in a month.
Is there something you long believed to be true and then realized wasn't?
Jesus is our Lord and Savior.
He let you down. Huh? Tom Segura in 10 years.
Man, I hope I'm still doing this stuff, I mean, I have a lot of fun doing stand-up.
And your name above the title on a big film.
That'd be fun, That'd be great.
A Marvel comic film.
I'd love to do it.
You're an action hero.
Jesus, that's what I'm talking about. Who can you call? You're connected.
Stan Lee.
No. You think Stan will do it?
Stan could care. He owns the doesn't he? Who owns Marvel now?
I don't know. Where's your phone? Give him a ring.
Get you. In our final moments, Tom Segura will answer your questions from social media. His new film, we've told you a lot about this, is Instant Family, November 16th. We'll be right back. We have fan questions for Tom Segura, and we begin with Jimmy Marr on Facebook. I know you speak Spanish fluently. Do you ever just switch it up in the middle of a conversation to mess with people?
What I've done is I've let people speak at length in Spanish, and I'm not talking about in a conversation. I'm talking about people that I've known for months, and then I'll say something in Spanish to them.
How did you learn it?
My mother's Peruvian, so she would just speak Spanish at home. So I would just,
From Peru?
From Peru, yeah. And she didn't come over until she was 30, 31, so...
Wow.
Where she spoke to us.
Where did your father meet her?
He met her at his best friend married my mom's sister. Yeah, and they both went down to South America, and they're like,
Have you been to Lima?
I've been to Lima a lot, yeah, many times.
Nice?
Yeah, it's wonderful, and it's had a real resurgence, and I love Peru. I love the people, the cuisine. It's a fantastic place, yeah.
Lisa Dooley on the Larry King Now blog. What up-and-coming comedian sparks your fancy?
There's so many good ones right now, up-and-comers. I'm trying to think. I like Josh Potter. I like Pat House. I like Jeff Tate. I know someone's going to be like, oh, where's the girl? I don't know. Those are the three that I remember.
Lisa also asks, who would you like to star alongside in your next film?
Who would I like to star alongside? I'd like to star alongside The Rock, Matt Damon, and Denzel Washington. Do you know why I say those three?
Why?
Because those are three movies that would get made with those guys in it.
That's right.
That's right.
Connie Markey on the Larry King Now blog. Can you remember your first stand-up experience? Was it a positive one? We already discussed this.
It was semi-positive.
What material was your first material you used? Do you remember?
I think I did a bit about that my penis points to the left.
That was your opening bit?
I think so, yeah.
Does your penis point to the left?
It does, yeah. Yeah, a little bit. I mean, it's not like that, but it's kind of like that. Yeah, it's like, hey, what'd you say?
Kelly Porter on the Larry King Now blog. Do you have someone you want to interview on your mom's house?
There's so many people. I mean, there's so many. We reach out to comics. We reach out to reality stars because my wife and I watch, garbage TV at night, to wind down.
What do you watch?
Just like Bravo nonsense.
You watch the Kardashians?
I don't watch them, but I watch all the Bravo shows. We watch Flipping Out, Jeff Lewis. We watch The Shaws. We watch Below Deck. We watch all.
Why?
It's just easy. So I think we go between what kind of day are you having? Do you want to watch something heavy? Do you want to watch Better Call Saul where you're going to pay attention, or do you want your mind to just relax? It's almost like, do you want background music, or do you want to watch something?
What would a reality show be like at the Seguras?
I think it would be kind of boring because we're not dramatic people.
But Ellis wouldn't be boring.
He would be. He could have
his own
19 of the 22 minutes. Yeah, yeah. You would have fun watching him. But
how crazy is he? Garbage cans are crazy.
I know. He's a lot of fun. He's a fun kid, high energy.
How does he treat his little brother?
He's getting better. He's actually very sweet to his little brother, but he doesn't like when I am sweet to his little brother. So
let's see.
He gets super jealous. I pick up the little one, and he goes, "Put the baby down." And I'm like, I kind of have to hold him. He's like, "Baby, down." I'm like, you know what? I feel like I should put the baby down. So.
KJM 1016 on Twitter. What do you miss most about growing up in Cincinnati?
Nothing. I mean, it's funny. It's like when you leave, when people they know that you've lived in a place, they sometimes want to, expand on what that time would have been like.
How old were you when you left?
9. So it's like people go like, what was your favorite part of Cincinnati? My yard? I mean, I was 9. I wasn't driving.
Were you
I don't
a
know
Reds
any
fan?
streets. No, I was a Bengals fan. I was a Bengals fan, and they managed to suck that out of me. I left in '88 when they went to the Super Bowl and lost, and I was like, I'll be a lifelong Bengals fan.
Are you?
No, because they were such garbage for so long. And like to be that bad for that long actually takes skill. You have to work to be that terrible for that long. So Mike Brown, you're the worst. Yeah.
Great seeing you, Tom.
Great meeting you.
Big thanks to my guest, Tom Segura. Be sure to see Instant Family. It's out in theaters November 16th. And visit TomSegura.com to see where he's performing his stand-up tour next. And as always, you can find me on Twitter at King's Things, and I'll see you next time.